Good morning. Good morning, Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, July 1st, 2021. Start of July, Thursday. It's 2021, new month of 2021. Same talk, quality. Role of engineers and role of people to COVID-19 and quality in personal life, social life, and quality in overall life. Title being Civil Field Engineering. When I say field engineering, it doesn't mean ground engineering, but it includes total engineering, including design as well. Civil field engineering, quality, structure, COVID-19 and HSC combined role along with quality into designs and construction methods and of course contracts. Communication coordination are integral part of system. It may be quality, it may be design, or it may be whatever. These are part of system, and those who are very well educated and competent, having certain reliable and recognized certificates like as seen chartered engineer, professional engineer, or you can say corporate membership of various chartered institutions or statutory bodies. Those professionals are responsibility bound or duty bound to deliver some work, professional work, along with quality, defined quality. That quality which cannot be compromised, but it's not exactly has happened. Quality, when I say, you understand what I mean very well. Quality of description. Quality where we have decided ourselves, we decide ourselves, nobody else. When we make something, when we want to do something, it be professional or otherwise, we have to define ourselves to what extent we have to go. What is our budget? What is our requirement? How our requirements can be created and how these requirements can be met. That we have to define ourselves. Higher quality means higher requirement. Higher requirement means higher expenditure. So there is a control of cost. There is a control by cost, and there's control by time for quality element. We generally call in our organizing system, planning system, scheduling system, when we work out something, we call it particularly cost. That depends on time and time. Cost and time we consider, and then we also consider this cost and time based on quality. If we want some quality, we have to take that point into consideration, what that quality is, and that quality can change both, can change time as well as cost. But when these three are fixed together, when we say no, now we have fixed cost, we have fixed time. Time is number one because we have to deliver that project in that time. Whatever we cost is proportional to that fixed time, and both are proportional to demanded quality or specified quality. Quality is specified actually. We ourselves define it within recognized system. It's like that. I want brick wall. Okay, I don't want brick wall, I want stone wall. Alright, I don't want stone wall, I want something else. It happens. It can be controlled, it can be varied depending on requirement. There were mud houses one time before, mud houses, clay houses. Of course, houses were not pure of mud, there were some bricks also with that, or stone if not bricks. Those were also houses. And now there are very much framed houses, brick houses and stone houses. Those are also houses. But cost varies, time varies, and quality varies. There are some permanent elements, some permanent strong elements, you can say, on which whole structure stands, on which whole building stands. Those are certain standards that can't be varied. What I mean to say, like RCC, that is called reinforced cement concrete, it's very difficult to vary it, particularly in modern buildings. It may be, concrete or steel. It's not easy to alter it. You may say it's a kind of standard, but you may change, you may alter other finishes, you may alter other requirements, finishing items you can change. But as far as standards of steel are concerned, standards of concrete are concerned, standards of structural steel are concerned, it's in fact very difficult to change them. They are all defined. So we may say that we can't change those much, but we can control their quality, construction and design quality, and particularly construction quality. What we should get with this material, concrete and steel, because of ignorance of quality understanding, because of ignorance of our tight supervision, because ignorance of concentration, we spend money on material no less than required, but why we are unable to get quality onto that is a question mark. And there's no criticism at all. I have worked in those places where quality is thought of, is considered of, and therefore I am used to that. I worked in those areas where quality and workmanship, we can say combination of both, were very strong. There was no question of negligence or loss of supervision in those areas, and I can say quality work there, if not cent by cent percent, but you may say near about requirement. There could be human error. I don't deny that fact. There could be human error, there could be working error. But even then, on top of all, I can say that there is seriousness, there exists seriousness, and people are design and quality oriented. It's not that there's some specific circumstances or law, but people are serious. Here or in some other countries, seriousness degree, seriousness state does not exist. If public is informed about quality, I think it's also very difficult for people to understand it. But even then, you can say money is spent. It's right of those people who spend money to get quality. And this right they don't understand themselves. There should be someone to define them, to explain to them. And there are engineers who can explain to them. But sometimes mix-up is that high. These vested interested contractors, vested interested builders, who have no direct link to quality, they don't care for quality. They misrepresent to owners about what is to be done and what is not to be done. And owner who has no background of profession or materials remain confused, and they believe in, okay, I don't care for quality. I think this mason is right or this contractor is telling right. Because engineers don't tell in plain language, engineers tell in stress language, in technical language. It's therefore very difficult for these people to know, just like a doctor tells someone, oh, this is your disease, and that person knows nothing, patient knows nothing about that disease. Because explanation is in medical terms. It comes in medical terminology. It doesn't come in factual life. So what I say, quality requirement is something, it's very different. We have to understand, we have to let people understand. We should not forget, and people also should not forget. You are going to spend money, lot of money. In fact, you are going to even take loan for your construction. And you cannot simply say, I don't know this, I don't have time to know, so I leave it to contractor or I leave it to builder or promoter. What they do best in my interest. This is really lethargic, I can say. It's your money. Don't forget. It's your money. Your money should go to right material, right work. Because your money is spent. It is spent on where? Maybe in corruption, maybe in ignorance. But you think, oh, I got a house, it's good for me. My question is, you are spending money, you spend whole your life savings, and if you don't get quality, what did you get? You would say, I got a roof on my head. Is that right answer? If your roof is not safe, if your structure is not safe, it is substandard, you did not get your money back. You did not get your money back. A part of your money has gone to hands of crooked people. That is the only reason that I am behind quality, and it's not question of money only. Money is one part, and the part is safety, risk to life. We hear every day, building collapse there, structure collapse there, and now many other countries are also touched with that. It may be Europe, it may be USA, or it may be elsewhere. We find such news. Of course, the scale is not that high there, just like we have. All news don't come in, but whatever comes in, of course, very tragic. It's shuttering fell or building collapsed during construction or during some other time, and so many people lost their lives. Bridge collapsed and so many people lost their lives. Roads sank and this happened and that happened. We get news every day, every other day, every week. This all directs that something is wrong somewhere. Means it's not only engineering fails there. It's not only engineering fails, safety fails, quality fails. Actually, human fails. Despite we have knowledge of that, despite we have information what should be done, complete information is available. It's not new that something is very new, we do not know about that, just like COVID-19 is not clear to people what it is. But that one should be clear. We know what is right, what is not right. We know. We know that. But what is use? We know that, we don't do that. That point we have to understand. How it happens. We don't control. So who shall control? I can't say that engineers can't control, because engineers are well qualified to do that. They are taught everything that should be taught. It's not in university, they learn in field. Documents are available, specifications are available, designs are available. Why doesn't happen? safety safety methods are available. Why this happens that we don't achieve this? So we have to be smart enough to concentrate on this issue. I'm not happy to all time speak something bad for everyone. But as far as quality is concerned and safety is concerned, safety means safety, health and environment is concerned, use of power of people, that's called ergonomics, is concerned, I think it's our duty to understand facts. Quality cannot be condemned. It's not condemned actually, it's ignored. People ignore. Also, some people I've seen ignore safety because of, they don't imagine what can happen to them if they ignore safety activities. For example, somebody stands high level, working somewhere on elevation or otherwise on a structure, and that person is supposed to use harness, safety harness or safety belt that is meant to protect that person from falling. But that person thinks, no problem, I am safe without this. That person is positive in thinking, but that person is not clear what can happen in fraction of second, because that person has not been taught. That person has not been given that knowledge that you can fall. By common sense that person understands, but that person overconfident. Oh no, I'm safe, it's okay, I'm safe, no problem. And that person doesn't care. That person does not understand what can happen in half a second. It's not fault of that person. Until that person sees somebody collapses, somebody dies, even after that, people ignore it. There may be some inconvenience, I know. There may be some inconvenience using harness and lifeline, but inconvenience is better than loss of life, or loss of life is better than inconvenience. It's very clear which is better. Life is more important than little difficulties. We cannot condemn, we cannot ignore, and that's why we say toolbox talk is very important for everybody, even if they are experienced. And this is duty of those people who extract work from these. It may be safety people, it may be work people, whoever is responsible for that. I am saying, I'm not saying particularly safety person or construction person. Information must reach to that person who is working. Everybody works in certain category and everybody has to remain safe. Safety is duty, safety is responsibility, and safety is right of everybody, whatever level you are. Even engineers themselves have to keep safe. They have to keep safe also, because engineers means leader on work, leader on construction work. And if leader remains unsafe, you can't expect others to be safe. Engineer is very well educated person, can understand everything, can write what safety should be there, can apply safety, and that engineer has to act like a parent, like a guardian to all workers, those work for that site. But how many engineers are serious? That's a question mark. I cannot say everybody is not serious, but generally some people are not serious. It's because either they have not experienced tragedy in life, they have not experienced calamity like this. I can call it calamity also, because something you do not happens, hazard you can say, something you don't expect that happens. It's a kind of hazard you may say. But hazard means that is not known here. It's known. If somebody falls from height, that would die. If somebody doesn't wear helmet or hard hat, can have problems. Some stone falls on head. If you don't use safety shoes, you can say safety shoes, some nail available on site can puncture your feet. Likewise, if you don't have goggles or safety glasses, dust particles can enter your eyes. Likewise, means if you are near heavy machines and there's much voice or sound, your ears can be impacted. Likewise, every part of body must be protected. It's clearly defined in safety. It's clearly defined, and from time to time people attend classes also, job classes. On site itself, self-safety lessons are given, particularly in international contracts where people are involved, machines are involved, cost is involved, huge, many hundreds of activities are involved, safety is conducted very well. I don't say no. But I'm not talking of those locations where safety is held, safety is complied with. I'm talking for those areas where it's not complied with, and there are more areas than areas where it is conducted. Irrespective of your age, irrespective of your experience, you have to induction of safety depending on project. Every project is different, safety levels are different, and even medicos are employed for safeties in some cases. Means there are procedures, there are definitions, other chapters are there. Some chapter is applicable on some project, some chapter is not applicable. If you work in a plant facility, in maintenance or in construction, you will find different levels of safety. Safety means not safety of body, but health also is concerned. Health and environment also. If you are safe, you think you are safe there, you work efficiently, and your health remains good, you think, okay, I'm healthy, no problem, I'm getting good food, and there is no danger here that I would lose my body blood pressure, I lose something else. There you feel safe. And if you feel safe, I'm safe here, I work 10 hours a day, I am safe. I'm safe here as well as in my camping, because on the site you can't go home. You have camp life, means live camps. So your live camp is good for you. You get good food, you get good water to drink, and you get good entertainment. It's routine. So you feel that, okay, till I work here on this project, I feel safe, healthy. And of course, my surroundings are good, my friends are good, I can have good time for sleep. There you feel different, that somebody is there to care about you. And that's what's the requirement. There are some responsible people everywhere, they take responsibility. That's professionalism, but that's on major projects where contractor is bound by specifications, bound by contract documents. Honor is also bound by those documents. It's not that honor is free. Rules and regulations do exist, and these exist also in our country. I cannot say no, but in our country, people are not that serious. I am not blaming that there are no laws. Everything exists, every document exists, but will is not exist. There's no will at all. Will, WILL. It's not that will. It's will means your determination. That determination doesn't exist, and that's the case where I am interested in. I have seen people, they want to conduct seminars. Just seminars don't give you anything. If just 10 minutes somebody talks, and it talks only presentations, they don't talk real life. I'm interested in ground value, groundwork, not presentations alone. Public should know. Actually, this information that I'm talking of is for people. It's not for engineers alone. Because engineers are medium, engineers are switches, engineers are controllers, engineers are, you can say, approvers of work, engineers are responsible for work. engineers and their associates like key personnel, supervisors, foremen and others. They are responsible for, you can say there's a joint responsibility. If there's a joint responsibility means there's a joint information dissemination also. That information dissemination has been missing. When you deal with the structures, you cannot isolate them yourself. I'm only a structural person, don't talk to me safety, don't talk to me quality. If that thinking exists, I think you cannot say it is engineering. You cannot say. When some designer designs, he produces drawings, it's understood safety factor has been considered in designs itself. We consider safety factors. And some people abuse them. Oh, there's no problem with safety, it won't collapse. That thinking comes into, but that safety for not for this safety, that is different safety, that is long-term safety, working safety. What I'm saying is construction safety. Construction safety is very important because you have no right to harm someone. A person who is engaged in construction, he has to work there, he has liability there, that person is paid for that, but also on that person there's another person who has to take care of that person. That taking care is important. If you don't take care of that person, you are not a good leader. I can say you are not a good leader. You don't take care of your followers and that they are. What sort of leader you are? You have to question yourself. I'm not talking of political leadership, I'm talking of work leadership. The responsibility of leader is to ensure that all who work in that control, in his control, must work safe. Must work safe, must be safe all time. You have to keep your safety first. Then you have to keep them safe. For that you may have to do extra work, you do extra work. You have to spend money, you have to spend money. But life is more important than not to spend money. Spending money doesn't go waste because it's a part of your budget. You can't save it, even if you save money on that, and you lose people. So it's nothing, it's same. You spend loss. You got first you lose that person, you lose knowledge, you can say you lose experience, and that family of that person suffers. It's only because of your experience, bad experience. You are bad engineering, your bad activity. I can say bad activity when a person loses life because of safety. You are also involved in that. Maybe you are prosecuted, that is different. But those people who are dependent on that person who is gone, what happens to them? Whole life is impacted upon just because of little ignorance on your part. It's therefore much more important than engineering design sometimes. Engineering designs can be corrected. Engineering's work can be corrected. But life that is lost cannot be replenished. So it has to be a very serious issue. SHE, safety, health and environment, it has to be complied with, like quality has to be complied with. It may be COVID issue or it may be other issue. That's what COVID-19 is telling all. Actually, people are not understanding message of COVID-19. COVID-19 has understood people very well. COVID-19 has understood that people of world are careless. The digestion, their patience is very little. They can't continue constantly. COVID-19 has understood that these people are not professionals, these people are not perfect. These people are used to comfort of life. That COVID-19 has understood. Comfort means either it's too cold, you are happy, or if it's air conditioned, you are happy, or you have this facility in life and that facility in life, you are happy. Means you are not happy with nature, you are happy with artificial arrangements. That's what COVID-19 understands, and that's true also. Little heat we can't digest, little cold we can't digest. If temperature is say 35 to 40 degrees or 40 to 45 degrees, we start crying. It happens in even cold countries sometimes, like Germany, like France, like Canada. Now it's happening in Canada. 46 somewhere, 47 degrees somewhere. It's of course happening in hot countries like Kuwait, 54, 53 degrees, and it was sometimes in Baghdad more than 50 degrees Celsius. So where there is a use, there is a habit, it's okay, they are happy, they don't have a problem. But sometimes it happens in those areas where people did not expect that, because they are not moved in nature, they don't move with nature. We have become very much dependent on artificial arrangements. Use of air conditioner, use of too cold water. Means we keep off ourselves from what nature has given us. If nature has given us rain, nature has given us cold also. Nature has given us heat, nature has given us wind also. So nature says that you enjoy my facilities. Sometimes it will be hot, you have to tolerate it. Yes, you can have, diminishing effects like use of fan or use of coolers, use of air conditioners. But use to my use to my specifications. Problem is that COVID-19 is not understood till now. It doesn't matter. Understanding may take years, and it's not easy to understand secrets. If secrets can't be understood in 1.5 years, I don't think that we can understand ever. Only thesis, hypothesis, nothing else. And that's no use. But one thing is very clear. For example, use of PPEs, use of masks, use of Googles. This can help. It's very easy answer. I don't understand why people are not understanding. Our relation to COVID is that we have to protect ourselves, and that's it. Nothing else. Our relation to weather is what? We protect ourselves by wearing clothes, right? If there is too cold, you wear hot clothes. If it's very hot, you wear different clothes. Means in requirement to, you can say your requirement is to wear such clothes which help you lead easy life, easy working. If you can tolerate temperature of 5 degrees Celsius, you can also tolerate 45 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Celsius. That's what nature says. Your body should be suitable for both, for digesting 5 degrees Celsius or 0 degrees Celsius as well as 45, 50 degrees Celsius. That's what his nature says. Means, okay, you need some fire in cold, you use fire. While same thing is that in hot, you have to drink water. You have to keep yourself hydrated from impact of adverse weather conditions. That's what safety is. Safety is not that kind of science you can't understand. It's not, differential equation. It's not mathematical work. It's nothing. It's simply that you have to sleep comfortably, you have to stay comfortably, you have to work comfortably. That's what is required. The simple answer to COVID-19 now is you have to wear mask, you have to protect your eyes. If you are able to do that, I think you should not worry about this. Simple. But because we are human beings, we are not disciplined. We don't tolerate, oh, I'm sweating, I can't breathe, I remove my mask. It's hot, it's very hot, I can't tolerate. I talked to some shopkeeper. I was surprised to see that shopkeeper had no mask at that time when I met him to buy something, and all his workers, 4 or 5 workers sitting there, nobody had one mask, and I was there. I used my mask, my handkerchief on my face. I asked them, why is mask? Oh, it's very hot. Answer was, it's very hot. I said, you have option, either like hot or love that. That means COVID-19, which is better for you? Oh, he says the heat is better. Okay, fine. Enjoy heat. Because you have some problem of sweating when you use mask, you remove it. Don't you have problem of sweating like you're wearing your shirt and pant or underwear or banyan, you take them out also. It's only something abnormal you think it is. You know what people have now crying is everywhere. You go to you go to America, you go to Europe, you go to Far East, you go to somewhere else, you go to our country, you will find problem. People are not interested in using mask and gloves. Okay, there may be some problem with people. There's so many issues, but don't forget your protection is a must. You have to choose either mask or loss of life or deterioration of your healthy body, you can say, if not loss of life. Once you contract COVID, remember, COVID shall not leave you even if you cross 17 days or 20 days. There is no recovery for COVID. All claims are fake because we do not know what is this disease, how it works. Yes, there are indications from medical science, it does this way and that way, but there is no claim. Once you get COVID contracted, it shall not go away. Yes, you say, I have quarantined or I have isolated, I have taken protocol based medicines or I got vaccination. There is no shield, permanent shield at all from these. There have been news that even after taking both vaccinations, many doctors lost their lives. That's a fact. It doesn't mean you should not take injections. You have, because it's all trial. What's happening is all trial. They say, okay, if 10 people have died, millions have worked, millions are using this. If 10 people will lose, doesn't mean anything. So a stage has come due to COVID that we have to accept such losses. We don't have any right answer. We say, okay, it's exception, you can say. So now exception or exemption also is accepted. Okay, no problem. If 0.1% people died, 99.99% people are safe. That is what scientific answer is, though it's wrong. Why should even 1% die? But because there is no answer, there is no control, there is no response, they take it as traditional answer. Okay, we accept this. We accept this, no problem. It's saving a lot while losing something. That is the answer. It's a part of, we don't have quality system for COVID-19. There is no system developed till now that can protect us. So we have just to take measures only. Proven measures, mask can help you not to contract COVID. It's also not explained fully. It's not scientifically answered well, but only saying that yes, it can protect you. So it is, you can say, loss prevention measure, that you before are infected must have some arrangement that you may not be infected. And if you are not infected, then you should not worry about that problem. But that is permanent inclusion. It's better use mask in every case, even if you don't have or you are sure that you are very healthy. It doesn't mean that you can't contract COVID-19. This is in very simple term I'm telling you. I'm not telling you in very complicated medical terms or engineering terms. I would only say that if you want to keep safe, keep healthy, keep good productive worker, you have to take your care. I know immunity of workers is always very high against such viruses or against such bad circumstances. But we have solution, and that solution is precautionary measure. It happened in Israel that I don't know why those politicians put life of people to their abusive decisions. Okay, we have vaccinated majority of people, So if you don't use mask, there's no problem. Such decisions were not in public pro, were not in favor of people, but they did them. Why you are so excited to remove masks? I don't understand. What do you get by that? Until you are clear about COVID, or until you know everything about COVID, which at present we know nothing, then just because you have to tell people, see, I'm so good for you, I remove your mask, you are putting those people to danger. Again, even they are vaccinated, there is no guarantee that COVID will not contact them. This is a fact. Vaccination is a must, but vaccination doesn't mean you should be free of COVID. That's also true. I many times write and tell people, don't do what politicians say, take your care, because once you are in problem of COVID-19, nobody shall help you. That's also proven. Particularly in our country, Bharat, India, speaking correctly, speaking rightly, there is no one to care about you. That's also a blank statement. Government doesn't exist for you to an extent COVID-19 is concerned. Economy has already impacted people, as well as people have been, as well as you can say, economy has been hit by bad news. Many organizations are off, people are unemployed. But you have to live. You have to live until you are alive. Even if you don't say you got COVID, if you contract COVID-19, I don't expect any support from our government because I've experienced that very badly. There exists no government to help you. That's exactly what is fact. You have to help self. Our government is not even having capacity to test all its citizens. That's unfortunate. If we are not able to test our citizens, how shall we know that people are contracted or not contracted? That's a failure on part of our system, on our government, on our people itself, because people are also not very serious. There's confusion by vaccinations, that if you get vaccinated twice, you shall have no problem at all. Problem is what? You think COVID is fearful of vaccinations? That's only imagination. COVID knows what you are doing. COVID knows what you are doing. Nothing is secret. Nothing is hidden of COVID, but we don't know what COVID is doing for. So what I say is, quality of system doesn't exist as far as COVID activity is concerned. Safety is not guaranteed. When something is not guaranteed by external sources, then we have to guarantee ourselves that we have to keep safe. Why should we subject ourselves to problems on our cost and time and risk? Government doesn't take any risk. That's a fact. Millions of workers walked on roads. Nobody cared. It happened. Again, millions have left job. It doesn't impact on health of our system, health of our politicians. They are only interested in data publication. That's also fact. So many people got COVID and so many are safe. 96%, 97%, just publish data like this, which has actually got no meaning. No meaning, it's only, to please themselves or please some people that COVID is going now. While COVID doesn't go, we know. It doesn't go, but we want to show it has gone. That's our publicity stunt, nothing else. Why are you so interested in telling it's gone or not gone? Why are you not interested in testing people? If you could not test in 1.5 months, 1.5 year, if you start from March, it's not exactly 1.5, but nearly, say 500 days, if you're not able to test your people, what ability you have? You are not able to test even 35% of your people. What ability you have? You have no ability. You are only excuse demander, nothing else. Engineering says we have to depend on facts. This is basics of engineering. Engineering doesn't mean direct engineering. Engineering says you have to depend on facts. Materials we use, we study materials, we know their properties, we understand them, and only then we use those materials. It's not blindly that you use whatever, okay, use this. No. There's a proven record, there's a proven design, there's a proven trial for every item we use. Trial by empirical understanding or by calculations. That means it's factual. It's not, it's not imaginative. Factual is factual. Engineering is factual. Just like in medicines, medical doctor believes in tests. They conduct tests to know what is disease in. Same way we conduct tests of materials. Every material, there are hundreds of such codes. They are defined. So engineering is based on facts. It's not based on fiction or plot. You cannot do plot in engineering. Engineering means it's applied science. It's based on facts. Every material has certain properties. Soil has property. If soil has property, every item, every good is well defined. This fact we should not ignore. When I say engineering is related to safety, there is nothing wrong. And when say quality is related to engineering, there is nothing wrong. And when I say COVID is also related to engineering, I think there is nothing wrong. Only fiction is that what COVID is not known. How we have to deal with, we know only this much, that we have to protect ourselves until we get some solid direction. Till now there is no direction. It's only some measure that we have to take and we have to care about so that nobody gets infected. We have to think, we have to learn from engineering how we should live life further. Quality is very important factor as far as engineering is concerned. There can be no engineering if there is no quality. It's all, commerce. When we say quality, means whoever is responsible for that must first understand all what designs are. Are there any error in that? Some errors that only experienced engineers can understand. If you are in designs or even if you are not in designs, understanding is easy. So quality is very much related to engineering, and without quality you cannot say that engineering works. When we talk of quality, then we are bound by certain systems. That's also true. If there is system, there is quality, then this is engineering. Blindless engineering doesn't work. Say, I don't know anything about something and I'm going to do that. It doesn't happen in engineering. Engineering is a field where everything is based on logic. Every good or bad on your body or in elsewhere in work, whatever happens is perfectly known. But we don't know about our body perfectly well. We don't know about nature perfectly well. And we can't forecast anything. And that's why we have to live under that circumstance or environment. They got nothing. I'm not going to define engineering here. I'm just going to tell you something about that only. And if you don't believe in quality and you don't believe in safety, then better don't believe in engineering. It's also better. Don't claim that you are engineer, because without quality, without safety, health and environment, and without quality of engineering, you are illiterate then. You think what you see or how you deal with this food you can eat, you can alright, you will sleep well, but you do not know methods. So engineering demand is that what you are going to do, it should be clear, crystal clear. If it's not crystal clear, don't do it. We are not mindless, we are having mind. That's why we devise certain activities, put together, and then we can start. We use it for better evaluation, better quality. We use it further based on more information that we say. So there's a different kind of consideration here. We design structures, we design all infrastructures, and that all is the result of mental application. Mind applies and we think of. Mind is very important instrument with human body. Mind doesn't speak anything, but it helps you think. It helps you think, and it releases information that is got maybe in a couple of months past. This structure was erected, and we think that we have done a lot. No. Other, what I say, if you do construction based on reasonable quality, you are a successful engineer. You are a successful designer. Your communication should be very clear. It doesn't matter if it's not destructive. It doesn't matter. It should be pointed. Or you can also chat with those people, with those engineers who are responsible for construction. You can confer with them and explain to them, what did you mean by that? Sometimes tries to miss time. That happens. That is because we assume other party can listen, understand. Now, this is not that time. It's not that time of critics. It's time of how do we adjust. If you believe that you can do without quality, then you are in wrong boat. You are not in right boat. We say engineering means quality application and continuous improvement on quality, and also safety. Safety is also a part of quality. Both are linked. You cannot isolate, because safety is very much part of engineering, and safety must be known to everybody. Means even a kid knows when to cross a road that some vehicle may come, hit him. That's very important part. So what I started actually is quality requirement. It's very important role, it's very important part, and we can't go without that. If you think we can go without that, well, think that is my foolishness. Engineering is engineering, you accept or don't accept. It's science. Engineering is science and it must be respected. If you don't, then you miss a lot. If I don't respect lives of my people or my workers, how can I do project? Just think of. Can you do that? If your computer goes out of work, can you work on that? You can't work. Still, work is dependent on persons, it depends on workers. We have not reached that stage where everything is automatic and will not be able. We have to consider everything in certain defined limits. Raw material where we receive from nature are, having all properties that are required, though it's called raw material, but it is refined material. In fact, nature has filled in with that material certain properties that could be tensile properties, compressive properties, bending properties, or whatever else. Got many impurities also. We call them impurities because those may harm function of that rock. We cannot move further for something new that came to market, whatever metal, something, until we understand that. These, manufacturers, they claim whatever they can, but that claim must be ratified by someone else. Just calculations is not enough. Calculations are not enough. We have to comprehend why we are doing this. We have to comprehend. That's the duty of engineer. It's an international standard. We have to understand each other. And when we understand each other, we can benefit that environment. I come back to quality again after deliberating on how we should move, how we should respect ourselves, our profession, in relation to facts, not stories. And facts are that it's very late, we got up, and then very late we started with. And this is, centuries. This is, you can say, number of days we lost in this, but we have to understand this. I talked last time up to any items, including, you can say, item of compressors. I can say that, for example, this is, I think, last page of this book, and I was talking about this item. This was propane gas compressor, tabletop core. I think I talked of other ports, and this is, maybe we refresh it. What I'm talking is about compressor foundation, which has three elements in these three components: was foundation, the ground, and other is columns, high columns. And then it's a framed structure on top, on which machines would come in. So construction wise, it is three components, very important components. We can't move without them. That's also true. We conferred on foundation, that was massive block, and that is generally everywhere in these machines. After excavation is done, after preparation for formation is done, after, you can say, we compacted that fill, and then we start oiling, or we start, you can say, putting something on our heads, and to that we start plantation as well. Leaving all these aside, we have to construct first. Construct by material that's called concrete, which has immense impact on foundations. and we consider soil, soil foundation together, soil and foundation together, and we can use those calculations for purpose of dimensioning and other effects of such machines, major machines, which involve hundreds of cubic meter concrete in each component. It's very important that we have to take care of that, because without that it's not possible to go away, to move fast. Massive block, we studied how we concreted that, we studied how we prepared that for concreting, and what methods we devised for that. We contemplated, disseminated. That was for foundation. Of course, some way for cathodic protection to be inserted in safely, and also we can say safety, health and environment are related to our engineering activities. We also talked of columns that were in between this massive block and tabletop frame. These columns, which are instrumental in transferring movements and direct loads to foundation. These are also very important columns, because these are very thick members. These are thick and these have to act together in that force situation. We cannot isolate them. It's also true. It's technique, you have to apply technique to production of such columns. There's some important assignment, there's some important inclusion of thick plates and tanks on each side of columns, and that could be due to whatever reason you can understand. I think main reason may be blast may be main reason, because of use of machine. Though it's vibratory machine, there can be many risks in this involved from surrounding, and explosion may occur, which because of many reasons, gases in air or many other points, we can say air has such impurities within it that we have to take care of those impurities. And that explosion, if it's in, of course, such machines are installed in process area. Process area means where all risks do happen. All do's happen. We studied all that in this talk. Means first we studied massive block construction, then we studied columns construction, and lately we studied how to pour these elements, and now we are going to study about this propane top tabletop. It's very interesting. We have to consider all scope. This scope is very easy, as I said, and that is scope can be defined in very short terms. This can be defined in very short terms, and that is purpose of this statement, to define sequence and methods that can be implemented in concrete pour that we are going to do, and that is propane gas compressor tabletop, which RCC frame beam structure is a considerable size massive block. Heavy equipment compressor foundation on it, a heavy equipment compressor foundation on it, in dynamic mode, transmitting working vibrations and amplitude to it, which impose forces. This foundation would be required to sustain dampen. Element is RCC beam, massive block with insert block outs. Complexities as in-depth study pertinent to successful planned professional pour is required. This foundation is considered to be a massive element, which means that during concrete, pouring temperature control supply, cracking prevention controls apply, curing controls apply, and overall pouring controls apply. There are documents others which I've seen before, not going to do that. Designations of titles and their responsibilities, which we already covered. Safety in this case is very, very important because it is high level structure and safety is a must from ground level to high level and through all intermittent levels that we have to understand. Safety is very different here. Let's see that. Means safety not only for work, also for people. Safety work consideration was taken by a designer. All safety factors of materials must have been taken, and maybe a designer has allowed more factors. But now we are talking of higher safety requirement. That's for people, that's for workers. We have to understand that point. We can understand that very well. I leave it to you for 10 minutes because it's very important one. Sometimes, it's hot, 34 in the morning. I was very surprised. 34 at this time, 3:30. Oh, it was 46 in Canada. I'm taking water, a lot of water this time. It's not easy to go without water because of dehydration. It can result in dehydration. Wait for please, you can read this page. I'll be back. Sorry, gentlemen. Little late. What to do? I was a little tired. So I'm back here for your communication. Here, important point is that this work is done at heights, which is very important point that we have to consider all safety factors we have to take that are required for height 13 meters 12 meters from ground. We have to consider this point very seriously. People should be safe, work should be safe, there should be no accident, everything should be safe and work should be smooth. That is very much requirement. Otherwise work cannot be done so easily. It is same, we have to understand. Main point is shuttering should be safe, formwork should be safe, support should be safe, access should be safe, access to all areas should be safe. We have to apply people on work, I mean to say machines we have to apply there, vibrators should be applied there. We have to make sure that people cannot come down every time. Water should be available there. There should be enough area for people to stand safely. We have to provide scaffolding and access around this foundation, around this formwork. They should move safe. There should be no obstruction. There should be no tightness. What I mean to say, it should be free working, safe working. All around there should be railing with toe board, with footboard, and people should not feel that they are restrained in some extent. Quality has to be maintained. Application of vibrators should be sure. No layer should be more than 400 mm. It's complicated pour. We have to see how many pumps are required. There can be left no area undone. Concrete has to be constantly laid and vibrated. And it's 1.7 meters or more, let us say. Means 4 or 5 layers are required for concreting this area. And because this is complicated one, around whole building, own foundations, all beams have to be poured. We must show that steel plates remain intact, rebars remain intact, well tight. There's no way that we have to be very careful about this. It's very careful work. We have to be care about. Everything has to move in that way. Specific concrete is there where GGBS replacement of 70%. We have to replace by GGBS ordinary cement we use. Here we define ASTM C150 type 2 30%. 70% is replacement by GGBS. That's a ground granulated blast furnace slag cement, generally used to call high slag blast furnace cement. We call it the BS4246, but no problem. But we have to do this work. Means preparatory work should be very strong. Everything should be very strong. We have to take care of everything. Particularly, we have to take care. The concrete should be smooth, without any cause of problem. Cathodic protection should remain intact. All C clamps should remain intact. GI wire should remain intact. There should be no disconnection. And if there is presence of anode, it should be safe. Continuity must be safe. Continuity of electrical flow. Pouring details I explained to you that whatever width you select whole width of beam and pour in 14 layer. It's not necessary that you follow what we did in foundations, step one. It can be, if you think that there's no need of steps, you can take whole beam width together and pour in 400 mm. But continue it, don't worry, don't stop. You have to program it because there are 4 layers instead of 5 layers. It come back again and again. Or you can use 2 pumps from one and other one. It depends on size of this. And then you have to finish this by wooden float and make sure that curing is done according to immediate application of curing compound, and then covering with polythene sheet, and then later on removing sheet temporarily and spreading saturated Hessian to be recovered polyethylene sheet, and if we have to thermal curing in this case also, we have to provide extruded polystyrene pores on that and ply on that, or sand on that is kept wet all time for 3 or 4 days. That's minimum requirement. And then we have to think of remaining period of curing by ordinary method, or we can apply, when you remove shutters after 4 or 5 days, vertical shutters, you have to make sure that concrete is fine. If there's something wrong, if some defect excess, we have to take care of that and repair it. And then spray curing compound, and that of the water layer is sprayed, and water layer has to remain there. That's the purpose of curing compound. Another purpose, in horizontal members, you have to keep curing by water, or by same way as Hessian and saturated Hessian with polythene cover, and we have to keep wet. We have to make sure temperature difference between concrete temperature and environment. That's not much different. Temperature of water is also not very cold. There's a specific gap between 15 degrees between water temperature and plasma. That I'll explain to you later when I talk of concrete specifications. So we must be careful about this. So this way we can say, in this case, we have to make sure that machines are okay. Concrete pump, you can say, we have to decide how many batching plants and concrete pumps. Let us say batching plant 1+1, concrete pump 1+1, and transit mixers, vibrator mixer, manpower, material, all should be fine. That's where we have to see that this is that works well, and that is requirement of this. It's not just a joke. It's a requirement of quality system, which you have to understand. Now we can start. We have to move further on this, and I took last time about you may say, that is building plants. I was talking about building plants. Where's that? Suraj, here is this. Oh my god, where is it? Yes, I got management documents and building plants I was talking about. I'm going to that one. Building plants, and it's here. In this chapter, in this book, we can say, talk somewhere about quality requirement. I close for time being, or let it open, doesn't matter. See, building plants. It's of course very important from our point of view. I published also this, but publishing is not important. Important explanation. We talked of concrete to RCC walls of central control buildings, laboratory structure activities. That is, we talked of RCC walls, how to do RCC walls. We talked in this, and format is same. Purpose is to make statement is to define procedure that may be adopted for erection of formwork and placement of structural concrete to wall sections, and those wall sections, responsibilities are defined here. You can say responsibilities are defined. In this case, positions are defined. You can say construction superintendent, infrastructure, site engineer, geotechnical engineer, or whatever is there has to be defined and corrected later on. But these are defined, responsibilities are same generally. Only thing is office engineer requires to be added here. It's very important for coordination purpose. Generally, it's not new term, but it's technical person, exclusively technical, who deals on behalf of others, because others don't have much time, and they have to deal safety here as well. It's wall, it's heavy work, it's very delicate work also, a strong, delicate, and can lead to accidents and we miss some. We have to take care of all safety measures that are required in OSHA requirement, Occupational Safety Health Association. Then regular job basis, all personnel are imparted training, safety lessons from time to time. Now this activity, that's wall, and this whole project lies in certain area that is under control of operating authority. which means all regulated precautions must be strictly adhered to, affect full safety standard. You cannot say that third party certification is important here. It's availed so that professional responsibility goes to that vendor who has expertise on form work. All those persons are inducted on site must be given, you can say, training. They must be aware of what right suitable safety procedures they have to adopt. Then they must use PPEs. There's no way without PPEs they can't work. Then they are working on activities like form work, which is very heavy for such heights of walls. One go we have to pour, not like kids, so we go 1 meter by 1 meter. We have to pour whole lot together so that fluid pressure is heavy many times. WH square over 3, I think 2, WH square 2, and movement may be WH cube over 6 ton meter. WH square 2, that's pressure on forms. Those forms must be strong enough to digest, to sustain that pressure. We have to do stress calculation for that. There's no difficulty in this. It can be easily done when we could do structural calculations. This is only wall forms, not that difficult. Main element in this is wall tie, which is very strong. We have to take care, and we have to take care for thickness of plywood and scantlings. We know general sizes of scantlings or plywood, or if you have steel, depends on vendors specifications, vendors requirement, how does it work. And they have to prove that our forces generated by concrete as well as by temporarily working on that material weight as well as workers actions produced stresses on this formwork must be taken care of. The scaffolding system that we use must also be strong enough. Generally strong is a structured scaffolding, we call it sometimes. It's used, maybe not mason's scaffolding, light one. It's heavy piping, generally it's too strong, and if you use it for slab system, it's also very strong, though it seems that it's 1.2 by 2.4 meters grades, but it's very strong members. Then scaffolding system should be accordingly. So we have to take all care. Reinforcing bars shall be fabricated per yard and procured on site or transmitted site. So we have to do everything. Means whatever is required to be done, we have to do. In safety, no loose electric cables, no domestic fittings are required, only industrial based fittings. And we can say material shall be stocked on site areas if required in such a way that circulation areas are not adversely impacted. No concrete transit mixer delivering RMC on site shall be allowed to wash out transit mixer at site locations, but to designated areas only. Electrical, qualified electrician must be on job all hours for looking after and maintenance. In case of mishap or accident, I have to make sure that victim is immediately given imparted first aid and then transported to nearest hospital or medical center. No untacked scaffolding, ladder, etc. can be used. All vehicles shall be parked only within designated locations, and all PPEs must be used, must be taken care of, must be worn, and all personnel shall be transported by suitable vehicles when joining or leaving shifts. First aid box should be locally available at wherever work goes on, and somebody should be trained Inspector should visit all areas where work goes on and look after any snags they find and tell in charge, take care of this. So in this case, we have wall to be poured. So what is required is we have to mark sites, locations of wall. We have to check lines and levels of wall up to which we have to pour. Starter bars must be added wherever design shows and IFC drawings tell. Kickers to base of wall sections shall be planned to be cast along with foundations in general. Vertical and horizontal reinforcement to wall shall be installed according to IFC drawings. Inspections must be conducted by QC to ensure reinforcement has been placed correctly. Where services inserts like duct pipes etc. are shown on IFC drawings, these shall be securely located, installed as well as checked. Continuity testing of reinforcement for cathodic protection requirements shall be conducted and results be recorded. Connection bosses shall be fixed as detailed on approved drawings. These bosses, when if not critical, if non-critical, as a bosses is provided with wires, you can say. One side of formwork shall be erected and braced. One side of formwork shall be erected and braced. A safe means of stepped access to a working platform as well as required working platform shall be erected for this formwork. Access shall allow steel fixers, carpenters and concrete crew a safe passage to working areas. All service openings shall be boxed for blockouts ducted onto formwork. Height and width of wall section shall be agreed with EPC contractor, engineer. Wall height shall terminate near underside of roof slab, where remaining on top part of wall can be cast along with roof slab. Security, where service inserts are shown on drawings, these shall be securely located, installed as well as checked. Continuity testing of reinforcement for cathodic protection requirements shall be conducted and results be recorded. Connection bosses shall be fixed as detailed on drawing, approved drawing. One side of formwork shall be erected and braced. And you can say connection bosses shall be fixed as detailed. One side formwork shall be erected and braced. A safe means of stepped access to a working platform as well as a required working platform shall be erected for this formwork. This access shall allow steel fixers, carpenters and concrete crew safe passage working area. A safe means of stepped access to a working platform as well as required working platform shall be erected for this formwork. Access shall allow steel fixers, carpenters and concrete crew a safe passage. All service openings shall be boxed for blockouts ducted into formwork. Height and width of wall section shall be agreed with EPC contractor or engineer. Wall height shall terminate near underside of roof slab, where remaining top part of wall can be cast along with roof slab. Wall shall be prepared and cast in sections not exceeding 6 meter length. This is specification. Wall shall be prepared and cast in sections not exceeding 6 meters length, where a construction and contraction joint would be formed using plywood. QC inspections shall be conducted ensuring that all ITP requirements are met. After all inspections of preparatory works concrete, pouring activities shall be carried out in lifts not more than 400 mm. It's very important point. 400 mm. That is the limit because of vibrator. Then QC inspection shall be conducted and this concrete surface at joint location shall be hackled. Scabbled prior to next section is formed. Where applicable, laboratory portion outer wall form shall be erected with profile steps prefixed to formwork. Remaining wall forms shall be erected and braced. A safe means of access to a working platform as well as safe working platform shall be erected for this formwork. This access shall allow steel fixers, carpenters and concrete crew a safe passage working area. Surveyor shall check alignment of wall. Preparatory work shall be checked by site engineer, who then requests QC for inspection, and QC inspection shall be conducted to ensure all preparatory works carried out meeting QC requirements and ready to be poured concrete into forms. Finished and reinforcement and formwork configuration shall be inspected on an ongoing basis by civil contractor QC department, who in turn obtain concrete pouring permission from EPC contractor engineer. Having obtained approval, structural concrete shall be poured by pumping to approved procedures. Curing shall be carried out in line according to specifications requirement, and we need crane, concrete pump, vibrator, hand tools, and there's nothing else. Then we can say, let's go to main station. We discussed before also, but we refresh it now. That's similarities in between last time we did now, but let us again do it. It's better sometimes to refresh. Just indicatively I'm going to speak on this, not very detailed one. It's only indicative arrangement here because this are only done just to remind. Maybe somebody did it, well it's done it, but let us see how it works and how it does. what we have to do about construction of main pump station, substation, substation, sorry. It's electrical building. Electrical building, you have to be clear. And this is located in process area. Electrical building located in process area. We have to remember. Process area. So what we have to think about this, what we are doing. Process area means in plant site where work is, you can say there can be process and there are many machines working there. There is expectation of gas formation, there is expectation of evaporation in that area and surroundings. And generally it can be said that an area of about 200 meters from critical area, you can say, where trains work. Trains means not travel trains or goods trains, but process trains, chemical trains. There can be boilers in that area, there can be compressors in that area, there can be turbines in that area, there can be machines in that area, there can be chemicals in that area, which all independently or in combination can result in explosion sometimes. And these explosions can be very dangerous. This may be instantly, just a fraction of, you can say maybe not very long duration, maybe half a minute, less than that, but it can result in devastation, it can result in fire. And if it is plant of processing like refinery or like some chemical plant, result can be very devastating by becoming evaporation, or you can say chemical particles in air. It can be very dangerous, some cases in it. So we have to keep in mind that we are talking of process area up to say 200 meters approximately, I am saying, within which we have to consider this blast loading. Blast. Some people have confusion about that, about blast loading, how it works. It's difficult one to understand thoroughly, but it depends on time and distance of location. As far as we are from process area, we are safe, but within limits of 0.2 kilometer we are not safe. Then if you go to from 0.2 kilometer to 0.6 kilometer, approximately I am saying, it's in between safe area and blast area, you can say in between two, and then we go from 600 meters onwards, it's normal non-blast, you can say. So area within 200 meters where there lies risk, it's called process area. And also we have to design for blast resistant structures. Blast resistant structure in critical area, while in other area which is in between critical area and safe area, we have to depend on blast resilience design, not blast resistant designs, resilience. Means There is risk, but not of that level. And then we go further, crossing 600 meters. It's ordinary area. We can construct normally because impact of blast may not reach that area that with that intensity it works in your process area. Generally on such plants we say this is process area, this is administration area, this is you can say central control building, or this is other area, utilities area, off sites. So many names are given in that plant area, but process area is really very very complicated one. I think I can show you if something is available. Just a minute please. That what I say sketches, if I go to sketches I'll find one sketch here, and that is in fact interesting one. 20 I remember plant, if you can see this plant here. You can see there is a sketch here. It says it's a plant layout indicatively, and of course it's a plant layout, it's no doubt. You can start here C, water pumping, it is C here, all C. C is a must there because whatever is related to C, and we can say this is 3.384 kilometer. You see, I'm saying is this is kilometers I'm talking, I'm not talking meters. Here it is refinery plant, that is 2.465 something, and this I'm talking is process area in this circle. You can see that this is process area where trains are indicated. Trains means process trains between many machines, many equipment and vessels. And this is 1.5 kilometers if you take all this, and if you take only this portion in circle, it may be around 1 kilometer. Of course it is indicative. Here we are concerned with this area because refinery is still far away from there. Refinery itself is a dangerous zone, is process area, but that won't affect this because it will be process area and refinery should be somewhere here. So this is distant from that. And here if you see in this plant, in addition to this, that is a barricade here. Let's barricade here and put other area. So electric building here is shown. This is in process zone. This electrical building is written. Because if you take say 200 meters from here, in this zone you can say indicatively, as I said, in this circle we have certain buildings like CCB near this, and of course there's electrical building, substation here. There's another electrical building here, and also CCB is here. So we can say, you may call it site, actual site of work, and it's off site here. Then there's other plant here which is not working now, and this area where we can say this is like administration area, which is distant from this, so there's no impact of blast here. There could be one building here for offices, there could be some other warehouses here, there could be some fire station here, and many more buildings here which are for maintenance purpose. And if you go further, there's waste area here, and there's one line, if you see from here, C pipe comes here, it's written 84 inches GRE seawater pipe here. Seawater comes here like this, a big line it is. You can say if it is 3.3 something, how many kilometers it should be. It may be more than 5 or 6 kilometers. You take this line, 84 inches double pipe, and you put here in this is seawater basin. Seawater basin is a part of process area here, so it's also very important to think whatever comes in process area, we have to take care of that. In this, for example, we take care of compression, we take care of compressors, boilers, wash water structure, or whatever we can say, complicated structure, we take care of that, which are part of processing of bioproducts into whatever chemicals we can say. This is very very important point. One train, two train, three train, four, as many trains as possible. So we have to keep, when we talk of this area, it is blast area, simple. And we talk of this area, it's also blast area, or somewhere else if you go, you will find that this is blast free area. If it doesn't come in range, that we have to understand that 200 meters in from from 200 meters from end of this area, because you cannot say center here, from extreme end of this 200 meters, and then 600 meters. It depends on how classification goes on, and we have to consider blast forces here, on blast pressure on structures. When we consider blast resistant, that means maximum pressure, maximum intensity works. There may be electric stations somewhere else also, some of the buildings also like this, we don't worry about that. I just wanted to show you means how it works, just to explain what we are going to do, how it works. Indicatively, that's what a plan is. This plan is, it's clearly written here. Trains include compressors, various equipment, vessel, compressors, boilers, and GRE and other pipelines run below ground. In all process areas, external connections are not indicated. Indicated on underground utilities drawings, roads crossings are shown on those drawings. Seawater basin supplies water to all trains. Water is used for cooling and water recirculating. Some buildings are blast resistant and some buildings are blast resilient. Some buildings are non-blast. Processing equipment houses steel building. Processing equipment housed in steel building. So here is a consumer receipt station, consumer center, administration here, or here is somebody comes, consumer comes here, and he goes inside, and he fills in and works. That's the sole purpose of this. So we are now talking of construction of main substation, which is a blast building zone. What to do with that? Blast building. Format is same. We are going to construct main substation, that is a RCC structure. RCC frame, because in blast resistant structure, we have to consider roof and walls together. We can't separate them. We have to consider roof, that is reinforced concrete, and wall, that's also reinforced concrete, to be considered together. In this case, we have to see what is written is, we have to find methodology for construction of main substation, and only RCC works are covered in this statement, as we said before, in which case we can say foundations, grade or floor beam, stub columns, grades or floor slabs, columns, walls, etc., roof, etc. Safety is ordinary there, whatever is specified MS1. For general safety, and then method 2 is sketch 60 indicative only, and that is